When you get ready to start paper macheing, after you've got your creature all filled with paper and he's got a nice body shape and you're happy with the way he looks, we need to give him a coat of paper mache. We're going to actually do 2 coats. The first coat is going to be with newspaper. And the way to do this is, first of all, you're going to have some watered down glue. You have your creature and then you have some newspaper. You're going to need to tear yourself some pieces of newspaper, and the pieces should be kind of long strips. So you'll notice that the paper tears best vertically. If you go like this, you'll get a nice straight vertical tear. If you try to tear it horizontally, it doesn't give you nice strips. So take your paper and tear yourself some strips to get ready for your paper strip. The more strips you have prepared, the easier this will be. However, I do not want you to make a mess in my room. So it's super important for you to keep track of your strips. When you're done, any strips that you don't use should be thrown away, or you can keep them in your own bin if you want to use them again the next day. But I do not want any strips left on your table or on the floor around your area. So please be careful to keep everything perfectly neat. Okay, there's a bunch of strips. Now, I think these strips might be a little bit on the long side, so I'm going to tear them in half so they're a little more user-friendly. Otherwise, I'm going to have glue all over the place. So I'm just going to take all these strips, kind of tear them in half, and lay them in a nice stack so they're ready for using. This one's kind of wide. Rip him in half. That one's probably good. Give yourself a nice stack and then you can get started. Okay, save these for later. Just push them off to the side. Okay, here's my watered down glue. Here are my stacks of newspaper. Here's my little kitty. So what you're gonna do is take the newspaper, and the more soaked it gets with the glue, the better it'll work, because you want it to be nice and soft and you want it to just mold to the shape of your animal. So I like to pull it all the way through the glue like this. Just push it in with your finger and then take your 2 fingers like this. Yes, it's going to be a little messy. Take your 2 fingers like that and squish off the extra glue. Just kind of do that a couple of times. You want this to be, actually I must stick it back in there because it needs to be nice and soaked through. Okay, so there you go. Now my piece of paper is nice and soaking wet, and I can take it and start wrapping it around my animal. Now this is where you're going to have to get a little messy, because you want to squish this paper and really get it to mold to your animal without any little pieces sticking up. You don't want to get any bumpy edges. You want everything to be super, super smooth. Just keep holding it down until it's smooth. Like if you have a little rip like that, or wrinkle, I mean, just fold it over and make sure it stays down. Okay, so I'm feeling like she's going to need some smaller strips to go around her head. Let's take this little baby one. Get in there nice and soaking wet. Get this around her neck. Cover up all the little holes, cracks, and crevices, and make sure that everything is super smooth so there's no little pieces sticking up anywhere. Take another little piece. Actually, I think I might put some pieces in there, just to get them soaking. This is kind of a big piece, kind of wide. Maybe I'll put that on her legs. It's a little too wide for her head. Make sure there's nothing that looks bumpy or weird, like this is wanting to be kind of bumpy right there. Just kind of hold it down so it stays. Okay, so just keep doing that until it's all covered.